He just has to touch you once.
Going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But he pushed down.
Dude hits hard. hard. You know they have that punch machine?
Oh, yeah, you can see the power? What's his power?
190.
Dream that I was that fast and that I was.
Why you wake up? You should have kept dreaming.
Fast.
Joe Rogan sat in disbelief after watching the latest training footage of Shakur Stevenson, witnessing mind-blowing punching combinations, blistering hand speed, and razor-sharp precision that left him genuinely shocked.
He even does it with his right hand, which is not his power punch.
And it still
his
was
power
130?
punch is his left hook. His left hook is what he knocks out everybody with. But it might be that his left hook is faster and it's a better weapon because it's in the front, and his right hand is more powerful, but he just doesn't land it as often that way. Did you find it?
This transformation in Stevenson's training reveals a tactical evolution. While he's always been a defensive mastermind, the intensified focus on explosive offensive sequences suggests we might see a more aggressive, dangerous version of Shakur Stevenson. Terence Crawford, a close friend, mentor, and pound-for-pound great, has been spotted training alongside Stevenson during the build-up to his massive showdown with Lopez. Stevenson has been captured on camera sparring and drilling with Crawford in the gym, fine-tuning his craft as he makes the jump to 140 pounds to challenge Lopez.
Two. With the phone in my hand. Hold on.
Stevenson's training transcends simple punch volume, emphasizing precision, timing, and making every strike meaningful. It's about real-time adaptation, reading opponents like a book, and applying skills with purposeful intent rather than mindless aggression. His compact head movement enables him to evade punches by mere inches instead of overreacting, maintaining perfect balance and positioning for immediate counters.
First sparring day, say he about to violate, he about to see. Well, it's up. He gonna think he gonna think the referee hitting him in that bitch. Champ gonna just be hitting him all day long. Bop, bop, bop. He gonna be static coming. Oh, he tough. But we gonna hit him with all that good shit. We gonna be ready for his ass. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, will I make you good?
Stevenson's approach centers on timing, anticipation, and lightning-fast counters, making him nearly impossible to hit cleanly. Lopez, conversely, favors a more deliberate style, pressing forward without reckless commitment, selecting his opportunities with calculated precision.
in fights. And Teo's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive.
He's been vocal about his competitive nature and his desire to face opponents who require discipline and adaptability, reflecting an inner drive to evolve as a fighter with every ring appearance. Stevenson's confidence and his focus on mastery over comfort drive his preparation and sharpen his mentality for elite-level challenges like Lopez.
To the fans, but I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like style-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down so much.
Right.
So now I gotta play check.
Equally crucial is Stevenson's punch selection. Rather than throwing wild combinations, he patiently waits for high percentage opportunities and delivers clean, precise counters that completely disrupt an opponent's offensive flow.
Is win.
Stevenson has been training with relentless intensity as he gears up for his monumental clash with Teofimo Lopez. Every single day in camp, Stevenson has pushed his physical and mental limits, refining his skills, adapting to the weight increase, and perfecting his movement and timing to match Lopez's power and aggression. He's been sparring with world-class partners, even working rounds with superstars like Terence Crawford to replicate the challenge awaiting him, while incorporating strength training to generate more power behind his punches. Stevenson has demonstrated total commitment by even sacrificing holiday celebrations to maintain laser focus on preparation, keeping his body in peak condition and his mind completely locked on victory. His dedication embodies a champion ready to face the defining moment of his career.
Let's fight.
Stevenson is characterized as a defensive riddle, a fighter who frustrates opponents by dismantling their strategies, forcing constant adjustments, which frequently leads to mental collapse. His style depends on timing, anticipation, and rapid counters, making clean contact extremely difficult. Lopez, however, employs a more calculated method, maintaining forward pressure without overextending, choosing his shots with careful judgment. Analysts predict their encounter will be chess-like, with both fighters testing each other's discipline, adaptability, and ring intelligence rather than depending solely on power or aggression.
expect him to fight the same way versus Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are looking at the Zepeda fight and going, yeah, that's Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he will not fight that way with Teo. He won't. And Teo won't fight the same way William Zepeda did. They'll both be very measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. I could see maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights, and Teo's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive sweet.
I don't expect him to fight the same way against Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are watching the Zepeda fight and saying, yeah, that's the Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he won't fight that way with Teo. He won't. And Teo won't fight the same way William Zepeda did. They'll both be extremely measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong, you know. I could be wrong. Maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights, and Teo's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot. But he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going. But I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag them out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive sweet science display from both guys.
I heard you was the one that wanted to fight, right?
Yeah. I actually set this fight up. And I honestly did it because I wanted to push myself. I know that Teo is a tremendous fighter. I know he's on an extremely high level. And I feel like, well, I know that I can beat him, but I know that this should be a tough set, so I'm ready.
Who were some of the other options you had?
Lamar Roach.
That would have been a real good fight, man. But I mean, Teo, he's a bigger name, though, so I see why you went with him.
Yeah, bigger name, and also he got the more accolades. He's been undisputed before. He's on one belts at 35, one belts at 30, at 40. So he's more accomplished. So I know that would be a better name on my resume.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that this is going to be a tough fight for you.
I mean, they absolutely right to have their opinion. I already know this guy's good. I done came up in the amateurs with him.
Unlike fighters who gradually build momentum in a new division, Stevenson chose to bypass tune-up fights and immediately pursue a championship, underscoring his conviction that he belongs among the elite across multiple weight classes. Meanwhile, Lopez's recent performances at 140 have generated mixed reactions, with some analysts highlighting decision victories rather than dominant stoppages and questioning whether he's the most feared champion at that weight. Still, Lopez's resume includes high-profile wins and championship pedigree that make him a dangerous, formidable opponent for anyone, especially someone new to the division.
Of course, I'm talking about Shakur.
For Bill. For me.
Ooh, we didn't get into Shakur.
Oh, yeah, I want to see like entertainment, and then pay the man for that entertainment.
Well,
you know,
I got that.
I give it all different kind of traits of skills. I mean, even Andre Ward, someone that's like an analyst, like a perfectionist in boxing, like his IQ is high. He was even the commentator, like he was surprised how I did that jab where it was like a Superman punch to Josh Taylor, a guy that's undisputed and everything, and just made it look so easy. I bring so many things. I even brought a George Foreman combination now because that's everything. Everything is everything. Like I go back in time because that's where my future is at. And so like as far as like retirement and stuff, honestly, man, it's up to the network.
Both fighters bring impressive yet distinctly different resumes into this high-stakes battle. Shakur Stevenson enters the ring unblemished at 24-0 with 11 knockouts, having already captured world titles across multiple lighter weight classes and defended the WBC lightweight championship with composure and technical brilliance. His movement, discipline, and southpaw stance make him a complex puzzle for any opponent. Teofimo Lopez, meanwhile, carries a 22-1 record with 13 knockouts and reigns as the IBF junior welterweight champion, having moved up after earlier dominance as a unified lightweight champion. Teofimo believes elite fighters deserve elite compensation and argues that a fight of this magnitude should be both entertaining and properly valued. Lopez emphasizes that his style delivers excitement, variety, and creativity, not just safe, technical boxing. He points to moments where analysts were genuinely surprised by his technique and adaptability against top-tier opponents. Drawing inspiration from legendary fighters, he blends old-school combinations with modern athleticism to continue evolving. For Teofimo, a fight with Shakur represents more than money or publicity. It's about proving versatility, honoring boxing's rich history, and demonstrating that he belongs in the biggest fights of this generation.
Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound, top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is we're seeing...
Eddie Hearn has characterized the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson showdown as exactly the type of high-quality fight boxing desperately needs, emphasizing that both men are elite fighters in their absolute prime with contrasting yet equally impressive strengths. Hearn has highlighted Stevenson's technical mastery and discipline, noting that his ring IQ and meticulous preparation make him a serious threat, even when conceding size and power to a natural 140-pound champion. Simultaneously, Hearn recognizes Lopez's explosiveness, natural athleticism, and how unpredictable he can be with his unorthodox approach, stressing that this stylistic clash is what makes the bout so captivating. According to Hearn, fans should anticipate a fascinating matchup of boxing intellect versus power and momentum, a genuine test for both fighters at the absolute peak of their careers.
And Teofimo at certain spots, he's avoiding this guy, he's avoiding that guy. You can't take those shots at these two guys. Definitely can't now. They are stepping up, and they are taking fights that a lot of people are probably surprised they took. Now, a lot of people will say style-wise, Teddy, style-wise, is this going to be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite, they will make, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete.
Veteran boxing analyst Teddy Atlas emphasized that Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez deserve real credit because they are doing what many top fighters actively avoid, taking risky, high-level matchups against elite opposition. In today's boxing landscape, it's commonplace for fighters to protect undefeated records, chase safer title defenses, or postpone dangerous fights for financial or strategic considerations. Stevenson and Lopez, however, aren't choosing the comfortable path. Instead, they are stepping up against each other at a higher weight class, fully conscious of the risks involved. This willingness demonstrates confidence in their abilities and a competitive mindset rooted in the sport's finest traditions. By agreeing to this fight, both men show respect for the sweet science and for fans who demand to see the best face the best.
Showed aggression in his last fight against Zepeda, being elusive while being aggressive, walking them down, fighting on the inside, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there, ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur.
Will Stevenson's technical mastery systematically outbox Lopez? Or can Lopez's power and championship experience shock the world on fight night? The answer awaits inside the ring.